Hey everybody, hope you had an awesome day or are having an awesome day. Welcome back to Let's Play Alpha Sapphire. As promised, I have trained up our team a little bit. Slate and Dan are at level 10, and Ford, of course, is still at level 16. They are all holding Oran berries as well, because I think it is time to challenge the Rustboro Gym and see how we do. While we don't have any Pokemon that are really good against rock types, we do have Ford, who's kind of good against them, I guess. I think we're at a decent level. We have a decent combination of Pokemon, and I'm really curious to see how we do. So this is cool. It's like a little museum. Can you read any of the displays? Yes, you can. Petrified wood. Okay. Nope, what does that say? Trees can become fossilized. Yes, they can. What else do we have here? Is this amber? Yes, they are. It's old amber. You can make an Aerodactyl with it. A lot of fossils are displayed. You don't say. Some equipment. Looks like an Omanite fossil, a Helix fossil, maybe some dome fossils. Not sure what the pink one there is. The last one, I'm not sure either. Oh, look, a Cradily. That's cool. And that's true. Cradily actually is in this game, so I wonder if maybe she has different Pokemon than she did in the original game. I'd kind of be okay with that, but we'll see. A stratum near Falabor. There are a few of the Hoenn's best fossilized strata around Falabor. And a cool little, oh, I like this model. This would be cool to have like in your office, like a little 3D model of wherever you live. And what does this say? A stone is displayed with the description a Kalos stone. The stone was apparently excavated from a location known as Glittering Cave. Interesting. So Kalos stones exist. I think. Well, they don't exist yet, but they probably will exist in Pokemon Go at some point. But I'm not sure what they do in these games. All right. Well, we could skip at least 2 of these trainers, but let's not. Let's get a little bit more experience before we face Roxy herself. Don't take us gym trainers lightly. I'll show you why we're better. I'm also really curious to see what Pokemon they have. I'm always interested from like a game design perspective, like with how they fit out the trainers' teams. So Geodude, a pretty typical rock type, maybe even the most typical rock type, one you see all the time in the original Generation 1 games, and quite a bit in Generation 2 as well. So this might be a while because, well, now he's using Defense Girl, so it might be even longer. I am Steel, so I resist normal type attacks, and he is Rock, so he also resists normal type attacks. And especially with Defense Curl, that's not doing much. So this is going to be actually pretty close. I may end up switching out, so I really want to get some more experience with Slate or Dan, but I'm worried these battles are going to take an insanely long amount of time, because we're just slowly chipping away at each other's health. Roxy probably has like a super potion or something, but I doubt her trainers do. They usually don't. Alright, so it does seem like Slate is making a little more progress than this Geodude is, which is good. We're 3 levels higher, and I'm not sure stat-wise how Beldum and Geodude compare. I think Beldum does have a pretty good defense stat, so we might have a slightly overall higher stat pool. Not by too much, I don't think. And a crit, there we go. Alright, Slate did a good job there, and okay, I guess it's under half HP we use the Oran Berry. I would think it would be just whenever we hit below, like whenever 10 health would actually matter. And here we go again. Okay, so maybe after this one I'll switch it up a bit. Give him a break. Although, this Geodude is level 9, 2 levels higher, so I wonder if that'll make a difference. He still did 2 points of damage, but with damage rolls it could vary, could be 3. Probably wouldn't be 1. I kind of prefer he use Tackle, at least at first, since the earlier you use Defense Curl, the better. One thing that's really interesting too is that, and I kind of not forgot about this, but hadn't thought about it in a while, is that Beldum and his evolutionary line have the ability Clear Body. And Clear Body is not the best ability in the world, but it's also not the worst. It does have some good uses. And what it does is your Pokemon's stats cannot be lowered. So if your opponent uses Tail Whip or Growl, or one of those types of moves, it does nothing to your Pokemon, which is really cool because there are a lot of those types of moves early on in the game. So it was really helpful when I was training him to have a lot of free turns where my opponent would use like Growl and it would do nothing. Dan has the ability Soundproof, which makes them immune to any moves that are sound-based. Like Growl, for example, you make a Growl, so it's a sound-based move. Echoed Voice is also a sound-based move. So for a totally different reason, Dan is also immune to Growl. So they're kind of each immune to a certain subset of moves, but it's actually very few moves overall, but you know, it helps. Alright, so we have won our first battle. Let's go ahead and switch. I may regret this, but I don't think we're going to have too much trouble with these trainers, so I'm not going to use a potion. I'll save that. I will say the potions were very helpful as we were training. If you can't beat me, you won't stand a chance against Roxanne. Anyone else think of the police song when you hear the name Roxanne? Alright, so Tommy, good name for a youngster, has also a Geodude, so this leads me to believe that I guess she does have one more trainer first, but her gym might be kind of boring overall. So we do have Astonish, which is a ghost type move, evenly effective, but I'm pretty sure Astonish is only base power 20. It's also a very weak move. And base power 30, and it can make them flinch too. So that's an interesting dilemma. I'm going to use Echoed Voice anyway, and here's why. Even though Astonish would do more, base power 30, evenly effective versus base power 40, not very effective, so in other words, base power 20 basically. I do get same type attack bonus on Echoed Voice, so that makes them even. And Echoed Voice is really cool because it does 40 additional base power each time you use it. So like that time it was an 80 base power move, and this time it'll be an 120 base power move, which is a lot. Alright, so there's our berry. And this should almost certainly finish off Geodude. Defense Curl did raise his defenses, but of course being a special attack, it won't matter with Echoed Voice. So that was pretty good. And hey, look at that. Dan has reached level 11. Very nice. And learned how. Okay, so we can raise our attack if we wanted to use Pound, for example. Wow, you've got some potential. Thank you, youngster Tommy. But since Rock-type Pokemon tend to have very high defense, which makes sense, I am going to stick with special type attacks. What else do we have here? More potions? Yes, let's go ahead and use one on Dan, just so we can use him in the next one as well. Maybe she'll have like an Onyx or something cool, or I'd love to see like a Cradily or something, but I kind of doubt that. Maybe the gym leader will, but she didn't last time, so we'll see. I'll make you feel the power of the #2 trainer at this school. Yeah, I really like how all these gyms have like one sort of lieutenant gym leader, and they're just like, a school kid or something like that, but they're a little bit stronger than the other gym trainers. It's kind of a nice little tradition. Like her Geodude is level 10, although wasn't the last guy at 10? I'm not really sure, so maybe not, but regardless, she has another Geodude, very boring. I kind of wish they had spiced up the gym a little bit, but I guess they're trying to redo them with basically the same Pokemon they had in the first game. Maybe exactly the same, so, Now Rock Throw, that's a good move, because it's Rock type, clearly, which means it gets the same type attack bonus. Alright, so crit is nice, but doesn't really make that much of a difference, and we avoid the attack, very nice. So let's use Astonish just to finish it off. I am going to run to the Pokemon Center real quickly just to heal up in between these battles. Will it be enough for another level? Yes, it will! Good job, Dan. Getting up there. Alright, so based on the levels of the trainers, how disappointing, I fell to number 3. Guess I'm number 2 now, until I beat Roxanne. Did I call her Roxy before? I feel like I might have, but that can be a nickname. Makes sense. Alright, I feel like this guy's going to talk to us more once we beat this gym. Maybe he is just a guy with an interesting jacket. I don't remember him from the first game, so we shall see. Trying to think of a good example of a Pokemon type that doesn't make a lot of sense. Most of them really do. Like, fighting is not good against flying, because like a fighter would have a hard time reaching like a bird in the air. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Poison's good against grass, because grass is a plant, so it could be I don't know, do plants get poisoned? Not really. They don't really have circulation systems. So Maybe that's a good example of how it doesn't make sense, but it seems like it makes sense. Like grass, life can be poisoned. Um, steel is immune to poison for obvious reasons. Steel is weak to fire because you can use fire to um, melt down steel. All right, so who do we want to start with? Let's start with Slate, get him a little more XP, and see how we do. I do think we'll probably have an easy time with this gym, just based on the levels of their team. I think last time she only had 2 Pokemon, and I think they were, I want to say 12 and 14. But then I was thinking like, oh, well, we're getting up there in level, and some of the trainers were kind of a higher level. So I was thinking maybe it was actually 14 and 16. There we go again. But based on the levels of the trainers we faced so far, I'm pretty sure it is going to be 12 and 14. So this probably won't be too tough, but we will give it our best shot and not underestimate our first gym leader. That's a cool fossil back there. I wish I could see it. Is that like a Kabutops on the left, and maybe an Aerodactyl or something? Pretty cool. I'm not sure what that is. If you guys happen to know what that fossil is, let me know. Just as I expected. I knew you and your Pokemon would be able to get this far. Now, would you kindly demonstrate how you battle with your Pokemon? I would be happy to, Roxanne. Cool little animation there. Here we go, Hoenn versus Roxanne. Our first gym battle. And, of course, who does she lead with? Geodude. So, see, like, this is just... all we've faced in this entire gym so far is Geodude. But, on the bright side, we are pretty good at beating them now, so... Now, this one is level 12, and a female. A lot of times female trainers train female Pokemon, and male trainers train male Pokemon. Not really intentional. In fact, I think I prefer... I'm glad these 3 Pokemon have been... Well, 2 of them are male, 1 of them is genderless. Since they all kind of have like male names or male sounding names, but my last 3 I kind of hope are female, because they're going to all have female sounding names. In fact, I might even catch 1 or 2 to make sure they are. Alright, so I'm not sure this is a battle that we're going to win, in terms of just Slate versus Geodude. So, there's the Oranberry. So, sorry for keeping you in Slate. I probably could switch you out, but if I do, then I don't want to switch into like, Dan or somebody, because then Dan would take a lot of damage from an incoming Rock Tomb, for example. Oh, that's interesting. So Rock Tomb, it didn't even try to lower my speed. So Rock Tomb is kind of like Rock Throw. I think it's a little bit more powerful. Or maybe not. Maybe it's about the same. But it normally will lower your Pokemon's speed, which is good for a Rock type because they tend to be slow. So having a move that can lower your opponent's speed is very nice. But because Slate has the ability Clear Body, Rock Tomb does not have an additional effect, as you can see. Now, I could also switch into like Zigzagoon just as a, just to let him faint. But if I'm going to let one of my Pokemon faint, I might as well do as much damage as I can first. So seems like both of us have been pretty good with accuracy. All right, Slate, you did a good job. Get some rest, and let's send out our second party member, Dan. All right, so I could go for Astonish and try to go for the flinch chance, but it's only like a 20 or 30% chance. So let's go with Echoed Voice. And what's kind of nice is that if I can build up some Echoed Voice on Geodude, I might even be able to do a lot of damage to her best Pokemon. Ooh, that hurt. And are we going to be faster still? I don't know. I don't think Dan is very fast either. Dan does have a lot of HP, but kind of weak defenses, which sort of balance out. All right, we are faster. I'm a little worried we're not going to be faster than her last Pokemon, though, because I think it's going to be level 14. And I'm not sure how its base speed compares to Geodude. Maybe a little higher. There it is, Nose Pass, kind of a weird Pokemon. It's a rock nose. I think it's based on, and I just realized this if I'm being totally honest. I think it's based on, what do they call them? Those statues on Easter Island. Again, if you think of the name, post in the comments, because I can't remember it, but it'll come to me. So it's actually a pretty cool design. I always thought it was a weird Pokemon, like it's a rock nose, but now I get it. Alright, and it's going to use Harden, which is actually not very smart. For an A student, or a top 4 class student, she's not being smart, because she's seen me using special attacks. So why would you use Harden? Wow, that did nothing. So maybe Nose Pass, unlike Geodude, might have a decent special defense stat. I'm not really too familiar with Nose Pass and its stats. And it only used Tackle and not Rock Tomb or Rock Throw. Yeah, that's disappointing she's not being smarter than that. But as you can see, we are doing more and more damage each time. I think we're about to have a 200 base power move, which is really nice. So, I don't know if this will be the knockout, probably not. And in fact, she might use a potion now or even have a berry. Don't see a berry. She did use a potion, but only a regular potion, so how much will it heal? Ooh, quite a lot. Nosepass does not have a lot of HP. So Dan has a lot of HP, but that just means my berry didn't heal that much. Alright, I don't know though. This might be, oh that's right, Nosepass is faster. Alright, well great job Dan. Critical hit, didn't really matter. We are down to our last Pokemon. Thankfully it is also our strongest and our kind of secret weapon here. So good, I'm glad this was a good battle. I think we, every Pokemon kind of had their part to play, and she brought us down to our last real trained Pokemon. Double Kick will be super effective and probably should knock it out. Yes, just barely. Nosepass does have pretty good defense, but it was enough. And fighting is one of those types I don't train very often, so I don't remember that. I should really know this by now, but it's one of those things I didn't learn when I was little. I didn't bother memorizing, so I don't remember if rock is good against fighting or not. I think fighting resists rock, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it does though. So I lost. It seems that I still have much more to learn. Got a lot of money for that. So basically, I think Combuskin would take even type attacks or even damage from rock type attacks because rock is good against fire, and I'm pretty sure it's not good against fighting. But I guess I could look that up while I have my other screen open. I understand. The Pokemon League's rules state that trainers receive this if they defeat a gym leader. Please accept the official Pokemon League Stone Badge. Alright guys, got our first badge, the Stone Badge. 1 down, 7 to go. Our journey is really taking off now. Thank you, Roxanne. The Stone Badge enables Pokemon to use the HM move Cut outside of battle. Alright, good, so now we could always use it in combat, that's fine. But now we can also use it to cut down those bushes. A Pokemon up to level 20, in other words, a traded Pokemon up to level 20, even those you get in trades will also obey you. And please take this with you too. TN39 Rock Tomb. The move Rock Tomb not only inflicts damage by dropping rocks, it also lowers the target's speed. If you use a TM, it instantly teaches the Pokemon the move to a Pokemon. You can use a TM as many times as you want, so please try it out. Alright, so I'm not sure any of our Pokemon can learn Rock Tomb. I bet you that Beldum can once it evolves into Metang, but that won't be for a little while yet. I did look it up, and Beldum cannot learn any TM moves at all, like Magikarp and probably like Wurmple and a few others. It can't learn any TM moves, even the ones that can be learned by pretty much any Pokemon. They're the reason it's pretty much and not all Pokemon. But it actually can learn a few move tutor moves. But I don't think there are any move tutors at this point in the game, so won't really help us any at this point. Let's go ahead and fire it up just to see. And then we'll head to the Pokemon Center and revise our team. So Combuskin can actually learn it. Interesting, I didn't think he could. So this is really interesting. So I love that Combuskin's only level 17 and already has so many diverse moves. I probably want to give up Echoed Voice, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hold off on this until I can look it up. So Rock 95 is actually pretty good accuracy and 60 power. So I think Rock Throw is like 50 base power and 90 accuracy, so it's better in I think every way, except maybe it might have less power points than Rock Throw, but that's not a big deal. Oh, no. Yes, okay, thank you. It's always hard to get out of that menu. So what I'm going to do is you can, there are websites if you, oh, I was supposed to talk to that guy. Glad I remembered. Oh, what's going on here? Out of the way, move! I thought the guy in the jacket was going to talk to us, but I guess not. Wait, please! Don't take those parts! Alright, so I was worried we're missing stuff by not going all the way east. I was going to go back and backtrack anyway, but it seems like now we have to as part of the plot. And same with Thieving Corporation. I didn't go in there thinking, oh, I'll just do it later, but I guess it makes sense, because maybe we have to go there now as part of the plot. But first, before we do anything, the most important priority is to make sure our Pokemon are in tip-top health. So, the only place to do that the Pokemon Center. Yeah, I know some people play where like they don't even go to the Pokemon Center at all and just heal by items, and it just seems like more stress to me. Like, or I've seen people like do like a playthrough with only one Pokemon, but it's yeah, part of the fun to me is just kind of just playing the way that the games are typically meant to be played. And nothing against people who want to play in different ways. More power to you. Everyone should play it as they have fun. But a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, can I beat the whole game using only a Snivy?" It's like, well, you probably can, but you're gonna have to do like a ton of grinding, and grinding Pokemon is not the most fun part of the game, in my opinion. It can be nice and relaxing actually when you're like just watching TV and need something to do and kind of feel productive. But it's not the best part. The best part, in my opinion, is making Let's Plays. All right, so we're getting low on Oran Berries. Um, we'll give each one more Oran Berry, and I'll hold to the last one just in case. But I'm sure we'll get more, and we'll be able to grow more as well. I think Oran Berries grow pretty fast too. They might be like 12 hours as opposed to I think a lot of the berries are like 24 hours. Okay, so fire. Um, fire. Oh, I'm not looking at fire, am I? I'm looking at fighting. Whoops. Say fire does not resist rock. No, in fact, it's weak to it. I knew that though. Um, all right. Well, while we're doing that, let me keep going on so you guys aren't just sitting there waiting. We can also go north too. Um, so much to do and see. You know what? Since we actually just did something exciting this episode, hopefully you guys won't mind. But I think I might head north just to. I'm sure we can't go all the way, but I want to see how far we can get. It might not be very far at all, and then we'll head east afterwards. Maybe we can train our Pokemon up a little bit more. Route 115, south to Rustboro. Well, we already came from Rustboro. So I think this is the way north, the way back once you reach the area in the north, which is, how do I hover over that? It is, doesn't say. Oh, there we go. Phil Arbor Town, okay. I'll get used to it eventually, don't worry. Just have to refamiliarize myself with Hoenn. Also, beaches are a great place to use the item finder. Once you get one, you can find a lot of hidden items on beaches, which makes sense. I remember zinc. Okay, that's cool. I'll talk more about that some other time, I'm sure. Um, it's a oh, I was saying in real life, if you ever like have a chance to use a metal detector and find things on the beach, it can be a lot of fun. It's hard to find good stuff, but I had a family friend, I guess. He was a friend of my cousin's grandfather, actually, but we all knew him pretty well. We all went on vacation together multiple times. So, name was Mr. Bob, and I think he passed away a few years ago, I heard. Um, but he would take us, he had a metal detector, and he always liked going to the beach. So when my cousins and I were little, he would take us down there. We'd find all kind of cool things. One time, we found some really cool stuff, and we were really excited. There was like some old coins, and even one was like a Civil War era coin. And you're probably wondering, Aravel, what beach did you go to that had Civil War era coins on it? Um, yes, let's use cut. Doesn't really matter here. It's a bush to nowhere. Oh, we can go to the other bush down south of the town, though. Let's do that before I forget. Um, but it turned out we realized, I don't know if we realized it at the time. I think we probably did. But if not, we certainly realized when we got older that our uncle and Mr. Bob had gone, or my uncle and Mr. Bob had gone to the beach before us and then hidden the stuff there. And then they must have gone up really early too, and then went back to the house, picked us up. So it was really nice of them, really thoughtful to make sure it was a cool experience. But I'll have to do that for my kids one day. Hey, Revive, our first Revive. Revive does just what the name sounds like. It brings the Pokemon back when it's fainted. Yet another item that I will not use in battle, but might use between battles at some point when we're in like a long and daunting area. Also, I think I might have seen another like hidden path up here. Let's see. Oh, let's talk to this guy first. Oh, you there! You're that fantastic trainer who helped me in the Petalburg Woods. Help me! I was robbed by Team Aqua. I have to get my Devon parts back. If I don't, I'm gonna be in serious trouble. Alright, guy, I will see what I can do. You should probably get some Pokemon, because it seems like he's always getting his parts and his stuff taken. Alright, so I thought I saw a path down here, but I guess I was mistaken. Oh, I see more berries. Blue. Is blue Pekka? I can't remember. I think the orange is Oran berries. I also like all the berries are named after like fruits and things, which is also something I didn't realize when I was little, at least not for a while. Like orangeberry is an orange berry, which oranges really aren't berries, but you know, whatever. Um, what else is there? A pecco berry is what's a pecco berry? I have no idea, to be honest with you. I'm sure something really obvious, but um, an asperberry is a pear. Um, what other berry types are there? Cherry berry is a cherry. Like some of these are really obvious. Like how did I not recognize that? On some level, excuse me, probably did. I just didn't really think about it that much. Oh, I'm gonna get a drink of water here. All this talking's making me quite thirsty. I should probably pause to drink a little more often, actually, so my voice doesn't get dry and become difficult to understand. Machop. Alright, so this is one of the times where it's beneficial that I am a Steel and Psychic type, because the Steel type is weak to Psychic. But because Beldum is Steel and Psychic, ooh, zooming in there, um, a Fighting type attack will be neutral against it. And what's cool is that eventually I can learn Psychic type attacks once Slate here evolves. And so I can be super effective against Fighting types without them being super effective against me. So it's to some degree it's the best of both worlds. So Focus Energy is a move which increases your critical hit chance. So Machop is very likely to get a critical hit, or more likely, I should say, going forward. Foresight. I don't know why he would use Foresight. Foresight, I know when you use it on a ghost type, it makes them no longer immune to normal and fighting type attacks. So it can be a good move for a fighting type Pokemon to learn. But why would you use one against a Beldum? I think it has another effect as well, which I guess I could just look up while I'm here. Ouch, a scrape! I must put on a bandage. I wonder if it like resets your evasiveness or something, if you have a move that increases evasiveness. Um, yeah, basically that's what it does. It kind of resets your opponent's evasiveness, or allows your Pokemon to ignore changes to their evasiveness. Alright, we already faced this guy, I believe, right? Yes, we did. We have not faced this person. Let me teach you how strong my adorable Pokemon is. Maybe a Pikachu, or a Minun, or a Plusle. I always like guessing what they have. A Marill, okay, didn't think that, but that's cool. Pokemon we haven't seen yet. Not sure if I already said this, but I really like how Hoenn had a really nice balance between new Pokemon and old Pokemon. Um, it didn't have every old Pokemon in it right away, but it kept maybe, I don't know, 100 roughly, I'll say, of the old 250, and then added another 100 or so. Maybe it kept like 150, I'm not really sure the numbers, but it added more than 100, I think. I think it was like 120 or 30. I'll have to look that up a little bit later. But it felt like it had a pretty good balance to it. Generation 2 also did. Generation 4, I guess it did as well. At that point, you were getting a lot of old Pokemon and not as many new ones. Generation 5 was kind of cool because it was all new Pokemon, so I like that they did one generation like that. And the newer ones are obviously much more old Pokemon because there's only so many new Pokemon you can make up each time. But I understand that. I would much rather they do that and add like 40 or 50 cool new Pokemon as opposed to adding like 120 and some of them just being really dumb. You're a notch above me. Just a notch. Alright, I do want to keep using Slate here because I want him to catch up in levels. You can see being a strong Pokemon, he does gain experience at a slower rate. But that's okay, it gives us more time to spend with him. Try to avoid the grass as much as possible to save time. If a tunnel doesn't go through, then I'll just go over the top. Alright, that's a good principle. He is a hiker after all, right? Hiker Clark. I wonder if that's a reference to like Lewis and Clark. They were certainly quite the hikers. How cool would that be to like retrace Lewis and Clark's footsteps? That'd be like a cool, not vacation, because it wouldn't really be a vacation, but a cool just thing to do. Be a tough thing to do, I'm sure. This is a fun fact that I think is actually true. Feel free to fact check me on it. But I've heard that they've actually tracked very distinctly. Oh, rock polish, that'll make them faster. very distinctly Lewis and Clark's trail because of like there were certain things I guess Europeans ate at that time that Native Americans didn't, and they can still find those things in the dirt from their droppings, so they could pretty well trace where they made camp. That sounds too good, like too weird to be true, but I don't know. I feel like it is. So if you're interested, look it up and let me know whether that's just a myth or whether it's actually true. I feel like it's one of those things that's too crazy to be true, but really is. But anyway, enough about Lewis and Clark. Let's see if we can beat Hiker Clark. So yeah, those defense curls are really making a difference here. I think we're doing almost as much damage to ourselves as we are to him. And we are running low on power points. The other downside to having only one move. So I might have to switch to Dam pretty soon. Mud Sport is a weird move. It has its uses, I think, but they're like, I wouldn't bother learning it. It's so niche that I wouldn't even. You don't really want to use a move slot on that. One thing I really like with Pokemon that they haven't changed, well, two things. One, I really like that they give TMs with all the gym leaders. That started in Generation 1, and they've always kept it up, which I always think is really cool. Nice little bonus prize. It actually like makes you a little bit better. It's just a great mechanic. But I also really like the Pokemon, everything that's changed with Pokemon, they always only have 4 moves. That's always been the maximum. I mean, you can turn some of them into Z moves, and I guess when you like Dynamax now, they have like different moves. They're kind of bending the rules, but they've never broken it. They've never given a Pokemon like an ability that's like, okay, this Pokemon can have 5 moves. So I really enjoy that, like no matter how strong your Pokemon is, you always have to choose which 4 moves do I give it, which is a really cool team building limitation, in my opinion. Because there are so many Pokemon that it's like, oh, I'd love to give them like 10 moves, but nope, I think it's a good thing to do. Another Geodude. Alright, well, we only have 2 takedowns, so we might actually have to switch. I will switch out, I guess, just because I can get Slate a little more XP that way. Let's go ahead and switch just to Ford, just to make this quick. And because I'm pretty sure Ford can take whatever Geodude's going to do to it. So speaking of moves, the reason I wanted to hold off on whether or not to learn Rock Tomb, and I think I probably will learn it, and I probably will replace Echoed Voice, is because if you Google like Pokemon attack type analysis, you can find some cool websites where you can type in the attacks you want your Pokemon to know, the types of attacks you want them to know. And it'll tell you how many Pokemon are weak to them, how many Pokemon resist them. So you can try to find combinations of 3 or 4 moves where no Pokemon or almost no Pokemon will resist all of them. So like if you only have say normal and fire type attacks, you won't be able to do anything to a rock type. But if you have normal fire and fighting, suddenly you can do not only normal effective damage, but super effective damage to rock types. So for example, are there any Pokemon that are resistant to normal, fire, and fighting all at the same time? I can't think of any, because I'm trying to think like a rock and flying type would still be normal, would take normal damage from a fighting attack. Grr, what's going on? I was digging the tunnel without any tools when some goon ordered me out. The tunnel is filled with Pokemon that react badly to loud noises. They could cause an uproar. That's why we stopped using heavy equipment for tunneling. I'm worried the goon will do something stupid and start all the Pokemon into an uproar. Oh, cool. I think you actually can find Whismur in these tunnels. I think the Pokemon he's talking about is Whismur. So that's pretty cool. But we'll do that in another episode. Well, I was going to cut through here and go on, but I think this episode's already gone long enough. Because I do see other trainers here. If I can avoid him... No, I can't. Alright, well... I guess we'll do one more battle. Again, sorry for a long episode. I'm trying to keep these around half an hour or so, but... On the bright side, he has only 1 Pokemon, and it's Ralts, and you know what? This would be a great matchup for Slate, but I have no power points, so... and I don't have a lot of health either. Alright, Dan, you are up. So after this battle, I'll call it a day. But what I want to do is enter those moves into the calculator and see if... I mean, usually, as long as you have full coverage, there's not really a reason to have a normal type attack. In most cases, unless maybe it's a normal type Pokemon, like Whismur, and you want to get Stab, same type attack bonus. But, oh, you know what? I can use Astonish, which is super effective. Let's do that for fun. Because we will not have a lot of chances to use Astonish. Still didn't do more than half, but that's okay. Um, so I don't think there's really any reason to keep a normal type attack on Ford Arcombuskin, but I'll double check and then probably give it Rock Tomb. Alright, level 12, and we have defeated School Kid Jerry. I slacked off in school, that's why I lost. See kids, make sure you do good in school. It'll set you up for a life of success. Alright, you know what I'm going to do before we log off very quickly, because I'm very curious now, and I'm sure you are too. Maybe you're not, maybe you don't care, but I'm curious to see if there are any Pokemon that resist. I feel like there's got to be, but maybe not. Normal, Fire, and Fighting. There are 12. Okay, so for example, a Ghost and Dragon type like Giratina, or a Ghost and Water type like Frillish. So there are a few. That makes sense. Yeah, because right, Ghost makes a Pokemon immune to fighting in normal. So you just need a secondary type that resists fire then. So there are a handful, but only a few in the entirety of Pokemon. Anyway, a nice little resource if you're trying to decide what moves to teach your Pokemon that will set you up for success. Alright, well thank you very much for watching guys. It's been a fun night, but it is very late, so I'm going to call it here. Hope you all have a wonderful day, morning, or night, and I will see you right back here again soon for more Alpha Sapphire.